Hello and welcome to another video from the Independent Vlogger. In this video we'll be exploring the 47 bus route between Penicuik, Ladywood and Cammo, the new terminus down there. So let's get travelling. So we're here at the Wivas Park bus terminus where the 47 starts and finishes. You might be thinking this is just an average housing estate, there's nothing exciting about this area. But have a think about Ladywood. What is the wood? Who is the lady? Well, I'm going to explain that as we go a bit further along. Now we're going to be heading in this direction. So let's have a look to see what we can find. Now we've come a couple of stops further along into Teviot Grove. This is where we find out about the Ladywood. So we'll go down here and along a bit. Now just a few minutes on from Teviot Grove is this footpath in the woodland. This is part of the Ladywood. I'll go a bit further in and we'll see what we can find in here. So we're right now into the Ladywood. Now you can see why they call it wood, but where does the lady bit come from? Well, there was the Lord and Lady of Penicuik, and the lady liked the wood so much that she decided to name it after herself, the Ladywood. The Lord approved it, and the Lord and Lady have been succeeded by the Sir John Clark estate. That's at the other end of Penicuik. So if you continue down these steps and along the footpath, you get to a nice park. A park that not many people know about. Now let's now head up to the old brickworks at the bottom of Kirkhill. I'm now at the bottom of Kirkhill, and I'll have a look over this wall to see the old brickworks factory, which is now a housing estate. But the houses up there used to be coal miners' houses. Now, Penicuik was well known for paper making, but it also made bricks, and it was a big business at the time. Around 1995, I think it was, that the factory closed down. So we'll go on across the road and have a look over the wall. So we've come across the road now, and we're looking down into Esk Bridge where the bricks works was. It's now a housing estate. But just in the background, I'll zoom in. You can just make out the railway footpath that you can take from Penicuik all the way to Musselburgh. It's a long one. It's a nice walk to do if you have the time. You can get it to Dalkeith as well. It's a nice walk. Right, so we'll now go to the cricket ground and have a look at the range of Pentland Hills. We arrive on Kirkhill just in time for a game of cricket, and we also have an oyster catcher. Now up here in Kirkhill is Lothian's highest point, the highest point that Lothian buses goes to, here in Kirkhill looking towards Eskill. We have the full range of Pentland Hills in view. There's Allarmuir, Kirketton, Turnhouse, Carnethy and the Kips. Sounds like they're having an enjoyable game of cricket. Let's go and see some more of the 47 route. I've come to the other end of Kirkhill now, and we've come across this watchtower. Now, at the time this was made, there was grave robbers, and they took the bodies to Edinburgh to do experiments. So this was built to stop the grave robbers by shooting bows and arrows and bullets at them, so that they wouldn't do it anymore. We come to the main road that leads into Penicuik, and we also arrived at the Morriswood Pit Disaster Memorial on the 5th of September 1889. There was a big fire in the pit here, right here in Morriswood, and 63 people died in that fire at Morriswood Pit. Now, a lot of them lived on Kirkhill Road in them coal houses that I mentioned earlier. Now, the other side of the plaque has all the names of all 63 people who died. And the Meikle family stands out. That there was 4 people from the Meikle family who died. 12, 15, 41 and 44 years old. Now look at the ages, very young. So it had quite a big impact on the area. There's a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, someone in their 60s. Now a lot of the young people who died went in to warn the workers of the fire. There's the main road. A lot of the young workers went in to warn the workers of the fires. That was their job to do that, but they got caught up in it themselves. So all around here used to be the big coal wheel, and a lot of the gardens, people's gardens, they can't grow flowers because it's too much coal stuck in the ground. So there we go. That's the Morriswood Pit disaster. Let's go and explore a bit further along the 47 bus route, and we'll have a look at IKEA, and then there's an old police box that might be of interest to some. Now IKEA, the Swedish flat pack shop, there's also a good cafe in there and a good breakfast you can get. It's very cheap and good quality food for the price as well. So if you're looking for a cheap breakfast, go in there and you'll get some wallpaper and some flat pack too. We're now on Frogston Road near Games Crossroads. That's Games Crossroads, just through there. And we're at the old captain's cabin, which is an old police box. It's no longer in use. It's a preserved police box. Make sure I don't get my nose in here. Yeah. The police used to stand in there, and if you had any questions, you could ask them. There's a number of these throughout the city, so when you're exploring, have a look for them. We're now on Lauriston Place, and just over here is where the old Royal Infirmary used to be. In the year 2000 it moved out to Little France, and all the various departments moved out there to the Morden area. Let's have a look what we can see up here, up this little footpath. I think this leads to the castle. We're now on Lothian Road, where a lot of the businesses are, the big businesses in Edinburgh at the West End. And there's a Wetherspoons, the Cayley's Picture House. Cayley Picture House. Used to be a cinema at one time, but now it's a Wetherspoons, and some good food in there. Let's head to Craigleith Quarry and have a look at what we can see there. This is a very narrow road, as you can tell, not built for cars. And there's the castle up that way. Further along the footpath we see the Flodden Wall. The Flodden Wall marked the city boundary. It goes right round the city centre, High Street and other bits as well. We can explore that another time. But the footpath continues all the way down to the grass market. It's a good shortcut. I'll just go around here and you'll see, just walk down those steps and the castle opens up. Great views of the castle. We're now at Craigleith Retail Park, which used to be a quarry. Now the buildings on George Street and Lawn Market and Dean Bridge were all hewn from here. It closed down a while ago and it's now a shopping centre. Horses and ponies used to drag the carts, the wagons up into the city centre. Another place that the 47 comes through is Davidson's Mains, a very interesting little village. The pub and Greg's there, but up to the right is a Tesco's store, which is an interesting Tesco's. You're thinking, what's so interesting about Tesco's round the corner? Well, I'll show you. Look at these old-fashioned houses here in Davidson's Mains. Tesco's is just there. So there's some nice places to visit and some nice walks to do here if that's the kind of thing that you like. Plenty of history too. So here we are at Tesco's Davidson's Mains, and you might be thinking, what's so interesting about that? Well, Tesco there used to be a train station. And behind that is the old railway line walk that goes to different parts of Edinburgh. So we'll do that sometime in a separate video. We've now reached Cramond, and Cramond is Scotland's oldest village. It dates right back. Let's have a look at some of the things that happened in Cramond in times past. Let's see. As you can see, it goes well back in time, long before I was around. 142 AD, Roman fort and settlement occupied. That's interesting. And then the year 400, early Middle Age and Christian people lived here. There's plenty happened around the 1500s, the 1600s, right up to modern day. The Cramond fish sculpture in Southern Shoreline. We'll have a look for that. Now there's a map here showing our current location. You take Cramond Glebe Road all the way down, and then we get to the causeway promenade. So here we are down near the bottom of Cramond Glebe Road. That's just proof that I am there. Cramond Glebe Road, and the nice houses down at the bottom, and you go down to the very bottom, you get to a cafe. You can see across the Fife, a nice clear view across there. Let's have a look further down. So to get to that road, we need to take the road that goes down to the right there. And that's a nice road to take. So we'll go down here into the old part of the village, and so some nice bits down there. Now if you're wanting something to eat here in Cramond, the Cramond Inn does some nice food. A large variety of food as well. Nice soft seats to sit in. And there's a big car park there. Let's continue on down here and look at the nice view of the sea and the island. The Cammo Bistro is another nice place to eat over there, and we've got some boats here. I don't know if you can hire them out, but in the bistro behind me you can buy food for the swans, and you can feed the swans. Now, another day we'll do the walk from Cammo to Granton, or Granton to Cammo. A nice walk. Hopefully the aeroplanes will be running normally that day. The 47 continues on to Barnton and Cammo, but there isn't really anything interesting to see there. It's just a big junction at Barnton, and Cammo is just a housing estate that's been built in the past couple of years. So if you want to see those places, you'll have to get the 47 yourself and find out what's there. One last look at Cammo. Now the river here that we can see is the River Almond, and it leads on to the River Forth, which then goes on to the North Sea. In the distance you can see the county of Fife, and if you look closely enough in the distance you can just make out the Forth bridges sticking out, the rail bridge in the distance. You can see it, and there's some swans over there as well. We'll have a look a bit further up at these boats. Now here we are down at the island. You can walk across just now. It's the first time I've seen that, where you can walk across. Usually the tide's in. Now this is a very dangerous tide, because you don't realise that the tide is coming in. It comes in round the corner, and you can get marooned in the middle. As you can see, the tide is out and you can cross to the island. Now, there's a timetable here that tells you when the tide is coming in and out and what time you're safe until. Now, don't get marooned on the island. And there's even a thing you can text to get the crossing times. In the distance you can see the old Scottish Gas cylinder at Granton, a preserved building. There's a nice walk along here, right along to Granton. Although Granton itself isn't that nice a place, I suppose, but anyway, it's a nice walk still. So as long as you're at the right time, you can walk right out to the island. Normally this is a great place to spot aeroplanes coming in across the River Forth. The airport is just out this way, but the wind is blowing in a different direction and they're coming in from another way today, which is typical. They're coming very low and you feel the power of them. So I'll go across the other way and have a look at the swans. Now I said I wasn't going to come to Barnton, but I fooled you all. I decided to come anyway. You're looking at the old Barnton Hotel, which is now flats for older people. And we have another police box. I'll just move a bit further back so you can see it better. There's the old police box that and the police used to guide the traffic with their arms before traffic lights were invented, and this was where they had their brakes, in the old police box. We'll go on another few minutes and we'll have a look at the aeroplanes taking off from the airport from the Cammo bus terminus. Here we are at the Cammo bus terminus where the 47 starts and finishes on its long journey all the way back to Penicuik. the past couple of years, these rather odd looking houses have been started to be built. With some flats. And we can watch the aeroplanes from here as well, taking off from the airport. Well, have a look for some.